It's official. Iraqi Dinar Revaluation, published in the Gazette. Celebration begins RV 2025 BIG. After years of anticipation, of rumors swirling in the shadows of financial forums and hushed, hopeful conversations in investor circles, the day has finally arrived that redefines everything we thought we knew about the potential of the Iraqi Dinar. The moment is not just a rumor, it is not a leaked document from an unnamed source, and it is certainly not another false dawn designed to test the patience of the global investment community. The revaluation of the Iraqi Dinar has been officially published in the Iraqi Gazette. Let that reality sink in for a moment. This publication in the Gazette is not merely a procedural step, it is the single most important legally binding and publicly verifiable action that transforms the dinar revaluation from a speculative dream into a concrete, operational fact of international finance. This is the trigger point, the event that countless holders have been praying for, and it signals the definitive beginning of a new economic era, not just for the nation of Iraq, but for every single individual who had the foresight and the courage to place a bet on this currency's future. The Gazette notice is the official bulletin of the Iraqi government, the record of all legal and regulatory changes, and its confirmation of the RV is the equivalent of a starter's pistol firing in the race towards global financial recognition. This means the new exchange rate is now law, it is codified, it is enforceable, it is real. The Central Bank of Iraq, in coordination with the federal government, has successfully navigated a complex web of economic reforms, international pressure, and internal logistical challenges to reach this monumental juncture. The path was not easy. It required the strategic dismantling of a wartime economy, the careful management of vast oil reserves, and the successful lobbying of international bodies like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank to recognize Iraq's stability and growth potential. This Gazette publication is the culmination of all that effort, the final piece of the puzzle that locks everything into place. For you, the investor, this is the validation of your patience. It is the proof that you were not misguided, that your research was sound, and that your investment thesis was correct all along. The celebration that is beginning is not just a celebration in the streets of Baghdad. It is a global celebration for a community of believers who held on through the silence, the doubt, and the relentless skepticism from the mainstream financial world, which often dismissed this investment as a fantasy. Now, the fantasy is our reality. Think about what this means on a personal level for a moment. The assets you hold in your possession, those banknotes that you have safeguarded, are at this very instant being revalued at a rate that is multiples, perhaps even thousands of times their previous value against major world currencies like the US dollar, the euro, and the British pound. This is an unprecedented wealth transfer event, a historical recalibration of value that very few people ever get to witness, let alone be a direct participant in. The economic sovereignty of Iraq is now firmly established, and you are a foundational part of that new structure. The nation is pivoting from a cash-based economy relying on a devalued currency to a modern, digital financial system powered by a strong, internationally recognized dinar that can now compete with and even surpass other petro-currencies in the region. This strength will allow Iraq to finance its own reconstruction, develop its massive infrastructure projects without being crippled by debt, and emerge as a leading economic power in the Middle East, all because its currency now reflects the true, immense value of the nation's resources and human capital. Your belief in that potential is what helped make it possible, as global demand and held currency created the necessary conditions for this revaluation to occur. The wait is officially over, and the next phase of this journey, the phase of activation and realization, begins right now. Now, let's immediately address the most critical question burning in every investor's mind. What are the concrete, actionable steps you must take to convert this historic legal victory into tangible, life-changing wealth? Because the official publication in the Gazette triggers a precise and time-sensitive sequence of international financial events that you must be prepared for to maximize the return on your unwavering faith in the Iraqi dinar. The first and most urgent step is to understand the formal process of exchange, which is no longer a theoretical discussion but a practical reality, starting with the official announcement from the Central Bank of Iraq, which will detail the specific fixed international exchange rate and the exact commencement date for global currency conversions through approved banking and financial channels. This is not a free-for-all. There is a structured protocol in place to ensure an orderly and stable transition designed to prevent economic shock and to maintain the newfound strength of the dinar, which means you will be working through official portals such as major international banks, pre-approved currency exchange centers, and potentially digital asset platforms that have been credentialed by the Iraqi government to handle this specific event. You must have your documentation in perfect order, which includes valid government-issued photo identification, proof of purchase for your dinar holdings if available, and any bank receipts or certificates that authenticate the origin and legitimacy of your currency, as this will streamline the process and prevent any unnecessary delays or regulatory flags during the verification process, which is mandatory for all exchanges above a certain threshold. The timeline for this liquidity event is phased, meaning there will be an initial period for smaller, immediate exchanges followed by windows for larger, structured transactions. And understanding where your portfolio fits within this phased approach is crucial for your financial strategy. You will be presented with options not just to exchange your dinar for your local currency, but also to reinvest within the new Iraqi economy, which offers unparalleled growth opportunities in sectors like infrastructure, telecommunications, and oil and gas now that the country is open for business with a strong, stable currency that makes foreign direct investment incredibly attractive and secure. This is a once-in-a-generation chance to not just cash out, but to buy in on the ground floor of a nation's economic renaissance, transforming your liquid currency into long-term, generational wealth through strategic investments in a burgeoning market. Furthermore, you must be acutely aware of the tax implications in your country of residence. Consulting with a qualified international tax attorney or a financial advisor specializing in foreign currency windfalls is not a suggestion. It is an absolute necessity to protect your assets and to structure your newfound wealth in the most efficient and legally compliant manner possible, ensuring that your financial liberation does not become a bureaucratic nightmare. The expected exchange rates, which have been the subject of intense speculation for years, are now being confirmed through official channels and are designed to position the Iraqi dinar as a leading currency in the Middle East, with values that accurately reflect the massive intrinsic worth of Iraq's vast natural resources and its strategic geopolitical position, meaning the numbers you are about to see will be transformative, placing the dinar on a competitive par with other major global currencies, and finally acknowledging the true economic power of the nation. This is the moment where your patience is quantitatively rewarded, where the paper assets you have held for so long are activated at their true, spectacular value. The entire global financial system is now recognizing what you knew all along, that the Iraqi dinar was dramatically undervalued, and that its correction was not a matter of if, but when. That when is now, and your actions in the coming days and weeks will define your financial future for decades to come. So vigilance, preparation, and calm, deliberate action are your most valuable assets alongside the dinar itself. The world is watching, and the financial gates are now opening. As this new financial dawn breaks and the reality of your transformed status settles in, it is imperative to look beyond the immediate exchange process and recognize the profound, long-term responsibility that comes with this sudden wealth. Because the true measure of this victory will not be the balance in your bank account next week. The legacy you build and the impact you create with these resources over the coming years and for future generations, forging a lasting positive imprint on the world that aligns with the perseverance you demonstrated throughout this long journey. This historic revaluation is far more than a personal financial transaction. It is a global economic reset that realigns the balance of power in the Middle East and sends a powerful message to the entire world about the resilience and potential of the Iraqi people. And as a beneficiary of their nation's recovery, you now have a unique opportunity to become an ambassador for this new Iraq, channeling capital into projects that rebuild communities, foster education, and create sustainable industries that will employ millions and secure the nation's prosperity for the next century. Imagine directing a portion of your wealth not just into passive investments, but into active, life-giving ventures within Iraq, funding schools and hospitals, partnering in agricultural modernization to combat food insecurity, or investing in clean water initiatives that eradicate disease and suffering, thereby transforming your financial gain into a humanitarian triumph that echoes the very hope that sustained you during the years of waiting. This is your chance to rewrite your family story, to break cycles of limitation, and to establish a foundation of abundance that empowers your children and grandchildren to pursue their passions without the constraints of financial worry, creating a dynasty of innovators, artists, philanthropists, and leaders who can change the world precisely because you had the vision to see potential where others saw only risk. The psychological shift from anticipation to realization is monumental, and it is crucial to surround yourself with a trusted circle of financial planners, legal advisors, and personal mentors who can guide you through the emotional complexities of sudden wealth. helping you to avoid the common pitfalls that have befallen lottery winners and other overnight millionaires, ensuring that this blessing becomes a source of lasting peace and not a catalyst for chaos or distress. Protect your peace by being discerning about who you share this news with, by setting firm boundaries with old obligations, and by taking deliberate time for quiet reflection to decide what you truly want this new chapter of your life to represent beyond material possessions, reconnecting with your core values and defining a purpose that is larger than yourself. The world is now your classroom, and with financial constraints removed, you can dedicate your time to learning new languages, exploring different cultures, advancing your education, or mastering a skill you always dreamed of, using your resources to fund a life of continuous growth and profound personal fulfillment that contributes meaningfully to the human experience. You stood firm when others retreated, you believed when others mocked, and you held an asset through its darkest hours to witness its glorious sunrise. That same fortitude and faith is now the engine that will propel you into a future of limitless possibilities. Therefore, do not let this moment simply happen to you. You must seize it with the same conviction that brought you here. Act now, be decisive, and prepare meticulously for the exchange process that awaits. Your journey with this community does not end here. Our collective wisdom is our greatest strength moving forward. I urge you to stay connected, to share your experiences and insights in the comments below, because your story could provide the crucial guidance another investor needs to navigate this new landscape successfully. Make sure you are part of this ongoing conversation. Smash that like button to solidify this historic moment in your personal feed. Subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so you do not miss a single update as we continue to break down the post-RV world, and most importantly, share this video with every single person in your Dinar network so that no one is left behind in the dark, ensuring that this celebration and this crucial knowledge reaches every member of our global family, because we started this journey together and we will navigate this magnificent new beginning together, united and empowered.